your place for quick summaries of movies with jaw-dropping twists. Let's dive in. Our movie begins with Bruce Wayne remembering when he was burying his father and mother after they were killed by a thief on the street. Bruce fled the funeral ceremony, fell into a pit, and bats brought him from darkness to light. When he woke up from his dream, he saw the spaceship descending from Superman's planet to invade Earth. He got into his car, not in a rush, trying to save what could be saved. Destruction was everywhere, so he called Jack, his business manager, and ordered him to evacuate his company because it was near the ongoing destruction. This was also to prevent any employees from getting hurt. But Jack didn't listen to everything Bruce said, so Bruce had to go to the company himself to save the employees. The ground and buildings were collapsing around him until he stood in a large crowd of people staring at a spaceship flying in the sky. Suddenly, something flew and caused a powerful explosion, but no one was harmed. It started to collapse and fall. Jack was still in the company and saw something hit the building hard, and it was on the verge of collapse. Bruce saw things slicing through his building and couldn't contact Jack because the network was down. Jack was still in the building, knowing he was about to die. Suddenly, the building collapsed completely. Bruce rushed there, stepping into the thick dust from the building collapse. He saw many people trying to escape, including an injured man whom he saved, and then a little girl who was about to die, whom he saved at the last moment. He asked her, "Where's your mom?" She pointed to his destroyed building, implying her mom had died. After that, he saw many descending objects destroying buildings. Superman was walking among them, fighting someone else. Bruce looked at them with anger and frustration, deciding to seek revenge. Let's move forward 18 months after this incident. One of the divers in a location in the Indian Ocean discovered a stone that had fallen during the alien battle. They took it and handed it over to someone collecting these pieces. When he saw it, it turned out to be a green stone from Krypton, Superman's planet. This is the weakness of Superman. Meanwhile, Lois Lane, a journalist, went to a place in Africa to conduct an interview with a terrorist. She was accompanied by a photographer who was hesitant because the person she was interviewing had never spoken to the press before. The terrorist's car arrived, masked them, and brought them to their leader. Her first question to him was, "Are you a terrorist?" He replied, "It's not about terrorism, Lois. I just love my people, nothing more." The photographer was about to start taking pictures, but a Russian man took the camera, broke it, and found a tracking device inside it belonging to the US intelligence. Lois was shocked because she didn't know the photographer worked for the government. The photographer told them she knew nothing and that they had used her, so they killed him. The CIA was watching them from above and decided to strike the base with a missile, not caring if Lois was killed. The Russian man incited the terrorists at the location, killed them all, and burned their bodies before escaping. The government sent a drone to fire a missile at the base, but Superman arrived, destroyed the missile and the drone, landed in front of the terrorist leader, and stared at him. Lois was thrilled, but the man didn't even get a chance to breathe before disappearing. A court was held accusing Superman of killing people and burning them. It was evident that this was part of the Russian man's plan from the beginning. The police arrived at a location where gunfire was reportedly heard, only to find many girls locked up. When they tried to free them, the girls locked themselves back in, too scared to escape. The police heard sounds of people dying above them and went to investigate. Batman was hanging on the ceiling to avoid being seen. When the police spotted him, he fled the scene, leaving his mark on the criminal he had captured. Bruce returned to his headquarters, clearly planning to monitor the Russian man because he would lead him to what he wanted. This man, who owned a weapons manufacturing company, showed the government the kryptonite stone he had obtained earlier in the movie. He told them it could help save the planet because it could penetrate Superman's body and kill him. Additionally, its mere proximity to Superman would weaken him. They tested the stone on the body of General Zod, the Kryptonian who had tried to invade Earth and whom Superman had previously killed. Naturally, they wanted something tangible to eliminate Superman whenever they deemed necessary because the government saw him as a threat. This businessman needed government approval to access the spaceship and take Zod's body for experiments. Everyone refused except one person who granted him permission. He only wanted Zod's fingerprints. Once in front of the body, he took it. This was the same man Bruce Wayne had saved earlier in the movie when his legs were paralyzed. Unfortunately, he lost his legs because of Superman's battle with Zod. He went to Superman's statue and wrote on it, "False hero." Superman saw this on TV and was very upset Bruce Wayne was monitoring the Russian man and had a brief conversation with him. It seemed casual, but it wasn't. Bruce transferred all the data from the Russian's phone just by placing his phone next to it. When he reviewed the information from the Russian's phone, he discovered that he was working with Lex Luthor, the weapons manufacturer. Bruce decided to learn everything about Luthor and steal some data from him to uncover the story. Coincidentally, Luthor was hosting a party and had sent an invitation to Bruce Wayne because he was wealthy. Bruce, in his classic car, arrived at the party, attracting the attention of all the journalists. This caught the attention of Clark Kent, aka Superman, who asked a nearby journalist, "Who is that?" The journalist replied, "He's so rich." Also attending the party was Diana, a superhero from the Amazons. Alfred was watching Luthor's house on the computer and guiding Bruce Wayne on where to go to steal the information he needed. Superman was listening to their conversation because he's super powerful in not-so-nice ways. He was eavesdropping on Bruce Wayne's earpiece. Bruce reached Luthor's database, plugged in his hard drive, and had 7 minutes to complete the transfer. Someone caught him, so he pretended to be drunk from too much apple juice and returned to the party to avoid suspicion until the transfer was complete. And Clark, who is Superman, was standing with Wayne, who is Batman, in his capacity as an ordinary journalist, and the two of them didn't know each other yet. They asked him, "What's your opinion on Batman, the wanted criminal who's terrorizing an entire city?" Bruce responded, "Instead of writing about Batman terrorizing a city, it's better to write about the man from space who's planning to destroy the entire planet." Their conversation was interrupted by Luthor, and they chatted for a while. The move was completed, and Alfred informed Bruce that the transfer was done. Of course, Alfred was on the call with them and overheard everything. When Superman left, Bruce followed him, but when he arrived, he didn't find the hard drive in its place. He saw Diana standing there looking at him before she disappeared. He tried to follow her, but she vanished before his eyes. Superman saw on TV a burning house with a little girl trapped inside, so he went and saved her. Landing in the midst of people with her, he was showing them, "See, I'm good, not evil or anything. Stop the accusations you're throwing at me." He started helping people everywhere. For example, a ship about to sink or a rocket in distress about to explode. He dedicated all his efforts to acts of goodness and helping humanity. Later, he saw news about anyone imprisoned with Batman's mark being killed in jail. That mark was essentially a death sentence. Luthor visited Wallace and gave him a wheelchair full of advanced technology, saying he only wanted to help him in his struggle. Meanwhile, a Russian man in prison was ordered to kill anyone marked by Batman to make Batman look bad, as a murderer inciting criminals to kill each other. And they did exactly that. Bruce went to Diana at another party because, apparently, this was all about parties. He told her, "You stole something from me? Hand over the hard drive." She retorted, "That she steals from another thief?" She then explained that she was also wary of Luthor, which is why she needed the data. Unfortunately, the data was encrypted with military-grade encryption. She told him, "You'll find the hard drive in your car," and left. He took the hard drive and began decrypting it. Since it was taking some time, he decided to take a short nap. He dreamt of a destroyed planet where he had many followers, but they were betrayed and all of them died. It was a dream filled with chaos. He tried to resist and killed many enemies, but it was futile. He was eventually captured by a giant insect-like creature. He woke up imprisoned with the remnants of his men, and Superman, now leading an army, entered and burned his men with lasers. Superman removed Bruce's mask and said, "This was my destiny, and you took it from me," before killing him. Bruce woke up startled, seeing someone in front of him saying, "She's the key. You were right, Bruce." He woke up in a panic, shaken by the strange dreams. By then, the decryption was complete, revealing information about kryptonite and its power. Bruce decided to steal the kryptonite from Luthor to create a weapon to fight and kill Superman. Alfred tried to dissuade him, saying, "Superman isn't our enemy." Bruce replied, "He's not our enemy now, but you never know what might happen in the future." Meanwhile, Superman was investigating Batman. He met the wife of a man who was killed in prison because of Batman's mark. She told him her husband had a child and was imprisoned in a place where they knew he would be killed because of the mark. Unfortunately, no one acted because Batman was the judge in that city, deciding who lives and who dies. She asked Superman to help her stop Batman. Superman asked how he could help, and she replied, "Not with his pen as a journalist. It doesn't matter to him, but someone stronger than him might stand up to him." Then she left. Batman tracked the shipment of the kryptonite. Luthor was monitoring the transport, which included a Russian man. Batman attacked the convoy, destroying the security vehicles. He didn't care about their bullets because he was in his heavily armed car, which could destroy anything and withstand attacks without a scratch. He even drove through a wooden ship and came out unscathed. The Russian man fired a missile at him, but Batman's car had anti-missile defenses. Superman appeared in front of him, and Batman tried to ram him with the car, but it was like hitting plastic for Superman. Superman stopped him, stood in front of him, and said, "Next time you see your signal in the sky, don't go after it. Consider Batman dead and buried. I'm sparing you now. Take it as mercy." As Superman flew away, Batman glared at him and said, "I will make you bleed." Batman returned to his hideout, tracking the shipment and finding its location. He opened the container with the kryptonite and was thrilled to finally have it. Meanwhile, a government official held a press conference, taking Wallace as a victim of Superman's actions. She asked Superman to attend a hearing to address accusations of killing people in the desert and whether he considers himself above the law. Superman sought advice from his mother, who told him, "You're a hero, be their role model, but remember, you owe this world nothing." Luthor's research revealed evidence that the desert killings weren't Superman's doing. With the help of a government minister, she discovered that the bullets used were exclusively manufactured by a weapons company. However, this information couldn't go public because it would cost the minister his job. The next day at the hearing attended by Superman and Wallace, things took a dark turn. The government official noticed something was wrong, and then a bomb hidden in Wallace's wheelchair, which Luthor had given him, exploded. The entire building was destroyed, and everyone inside was killed. Superman, however, stood unharmed. Bruce Wayne witnessed the aftermath and blamed himself for what had happened. "I am fed up with this planet." And when Luthor returned to his company, he found it destroyed. Surveillance cameras showed Batman killing the guards and stealing the stone from him. Superman went to Lois, blaming himself for not noticing the bomb and feeling that he was the reason those people died because he couldn't see it. Luthor took Zod's fingerprints, activated his spaceship, and began extracting information from it. Bruce Wayne made some weapons from that stone to use against Superman and discovered from the data he stole from Luthor that Diana is also something extraordinary with superpowers. Luthor placed Zod's body in the spaceship to try to revive him, but the spaceship warned him that this act was forbidden on Krypton and would result in a deformed monster. Luthor dismissed the warning, saying Krypton was destroyed anyway, and forced the spaceship to comply. Lois went to Wallace's house and saw he had bought a lot of groceries, indicating he wasn't planning to die and that it wasn't a suicide mission. She later learned from a police officer that the wheelchair Wallace was sitting in was also made by Luthor's company. This meant the wheelchair and the bullets used in the desert killings were both linked to Luthor. The wheelchair was lined with lead, which prevented Superman from seeing the bomb. Meanwhile, a car appeared behind Superman's mother, and she was kidnapped under Luthor's orders. Batman prepared himself and turned on his signal to lure Superman into a fight. A Russian man kidnapped Lois, Superman's girlfriend, and took her to Luthor, who talked to her briefly before throwing her off a building. Superman saved her just before she hit the ground and left her in a safe place. Superman confronted Luthor, who was full of hatred and wanted everyone to see Superman as a murderer. Luthor manipulated events to pit Superman and Batman against each other. Luthor showed Superman photos of his kidnapped mother and threatened that she would be burned alive if he didn't kill Batman. Superman tried reasoning with Batman, but Batman had set up a kryptonite trap that weakened Superman. Despite Superman's attempts to explain, Batman was determined to fight. The battle was intense, with Batman using kryptonite gas to weaken Superman and treating him like an ordinary human. Batman eventually prepared to kill Superman with a kryptonite spear, but Superman mentioned Martha, his mother's name, which was also Batman's mother's name. This stopped Batman, who then realized Luthor was manipulating them. Lois explained the situation, and Batman promised to save Superman's mother while Superman dealt with the greater threat. Batman used his aircraft to locate the Russian holding Superman's mother and killed many guards to rescue her. He confronted the Russian, who threatened to kill her, but Batman destroyed a nearby weapons stash, causing an explosion, and saved her. Meanwhile, Superman confronted Luthor, who revealed the countdown to the creature's awakening. The spaceship had created a monstrous being that Luthor intended to use against Superman. The creature was incredibly powerful and began wreaking havoc. Superman tried to take the fight away from the city, but the military launched a nuclear missile at them. Superman pushed the creature into space, allowing the missile to hit them both. While the explosion seemed to kill Superman, it only made the creature stronger, as it absorbed the energy and became even more terrifying. The humans realized that the creature grew stronger with every attack. Alfred suggested to Batman that they could use kryptonite weapons to kill it, and the spear in Superman, when he saw the sun, regained his strength and got back up. He became alert. That beast was about to finish off Batman, but the sister Diana saved him and blocked the blow. After that, Superman regained his strength and hit him. Then they all gathered, Superman, Batman, and Diana. They unleashed their power and started playing around with that Kryptonian creature for a bit, but it was useless because he was much stronger than them. They kept fighting, and Superman exchanged blows with him until he also overpowered Superman. The only solution was to kill him with the kryptonite spear. When Clark tried to grab it, he lost his strength as soon as he got close to it. Diana cut off the beast's hand, but it regenerated with some sort of spike. Superman went to his beloved and said a few emotional words, then made a sacrificial move. He grabbed the spear and with all his strength went to strike the creature with it. Batman hit the beast with a kryptonite gas bomb, Diana restrained it, and Superman struck it with the spear. But even that didn't stop it. It impaled Superman with the spike that had replaced its hand. And so, both of them died. Meanwhile, the police arrested Luthor, who had become one of the most dangerous criminals globally. Superman was buried, and suddenly everyone loved him, even though they had once called him a killer. Batman covered the expenses of the funeral. He stood with Diana and told her that he had failed Superman while he was alive and wouldn't fail him in death. He asked her to search for other superhumans and form a team together. Batman then went to the prison and marked the prisoner with his execution stamp. And that's where our movie ends. I hope you enjoyed watching it.